Hello everyone, this is Charita Salabo from the BSED English 2B, and in this video I will be discussing to you the Module 9, which is all about the modern fantasy, in which we're going to discuss, or I am going to discuss to you the given selections that we are tasked to discuss in this video. So first is we have A Christmas Carol in Prose. So A Christmas Carol in Prose is being a ghost story of Christmas commonly known as A Christmas Carol. It is a novella by Charles Dickens, first published in London by Chapman and Hall in 1843 and illustrated by John Lynch. It recounts the story of Ebenezer Scrooge, an elderly miser who is visited by the ghost of his former business partner Jacob Marley and the spirits of Christmas past, present, and yet to come. In the process, Scrooge is transformed into a kinder, gentler man. Dickens wrote A Christmas Carol during a period when the British are exploring and re-evaluating past Christmas traditions, including carols and newer customs such as cards and Christmas trees. He was influenced by the experiences of his own youth and by the Christmas stories of other authors, including Washington Irving and Douglas Jerrold. Dickens had written 3 Christmas stories prior to the novella and was inspired following a visit to the Field Lane Rag School, one of several establishments for London street children. The treatment of the poor and the ability of a selfish man to redeem himself by transforming into a more sympathetic character are the key themes of the story. There is a discussion among academics as to whether this is a fully secular story or if it is a Christian allegory. It was published on 19 December. The first edition sold out by Christmas Eve. By the end of 1844, 13 editions had been released. Most critics reviewed the novella favorably. The story was illicitly copied in January 1844. Dickens took legal action against the publishers, who went bankrupt, further reducing Dickens' small profits from the publication. He subsequently wrote 4 other Christmas stories. In 1849, he began public readings of the story, which proved successful. He undertook 127 further performances until 1870, the year of his death. Christmas Carol has never been out of print and has been translated into several languages. The story has been adapted many times for film, stage, opera, and other media. A Christmas Carol captured the zeitgeist of the early Victorian revival of the Christmas holiday. Dickens acknowledged the influence of the modern Western observance of Christmas, and later inspired several aspects of Christmas, such as including family gatherings, seasonal food and drink, dancing, games, and the festive generosity of spirit. Alice Adventures in Wonderland. Alice Adventure in Wonderland, commonly Alice in Wonderland, is an 1865 English children's novel by Lewis Carroll, a mathematics don at Oxford University. It details the story of a girl named Alice who falls through a rabbit hole into a fantasy world of anthropomorphic creatures. It is seen as an example of the literary nonsense genre. The artist John Tenniel provided 42 wood-engraved illustrations for the book. It received positive reviews upon release and is now one of the best-known works of Victorian literature. It is also a narrative structure. Characters and imagery have had a widespread influence on popular culture and literature, especially in the fantasy genre. It is credited as helping end an era of didacticism in children's literature, inaugurating an era in which writing for children aimed to delight or entertain. The tale plays with logic, giving the story lasting popularity with adults as well as with children. The titular character Alice shares her name with Alice Liddell, a girl Carol knew scholars disagree about the extent to which the character was based upon her. However, the book has never been out of print and has been translated into 174 languages. Its legacy covers adaptations for screen, radio, art, ballet, opera, musicals, theme parks, board games, and video games. Furthermore, Carroll published a sequel in 1871 entitled Through the Looking Glass and a shortened version for young children, The Nursery Alice, in 1890. Another, we have the Clive Staples Lewis FBA. So, on November 29, 1898 to 1822, November 1963, was a British writer, literary scholar, and Anglican lay theologian. He held academic positions in English literature at both Magdalen College, Oxford, 1925 to 1954, and Magdalen College, Cambridge, 1954 to 1963. He is best known as the author of the Chronicles of Narnia, but he is also noted for his other works of fiction, such as the Screwtape Letters in the Space Trilogy, and for his non-fiction Christian apologetics, including Mere Christianity, Miracles, and Problem of Pain. Lewis was a close friend of J.R.R. Tolkien, author of The Lord of the Rings. Both men served on the English faculty at Oxford University and were active in the informal Oxford literary group known as the Inklings. According to Lewis' 1955 memoir, Surprised by Joy, he was baptized in the Church of Ireland but fell away from his faith during adolescence. Lewis returned to Anglicanism at the age of 32 owing to the influence of Tolkien and other friends, and he became an ordinary layman of the Church of England. Lewis' faith profoundly affected his work, and his wartime radio broadcast on the subject of Christianity brought him wide acclaim. Lewis wrote more than 30 books which have been translated into more than 30 languages and have sold millions of copies. However, the books that make up the Chronicles of Narnia have sold the most and have been popularized on stage, such as TV, radio, and cinema. His philosophical writings are widely cited by Christian scholars from many denominations. In 1956, Lewis married to American writer Joy Davidman. She died of cancer 4 years later at the age of 45. Lewis died on November 22, 1963 from kidney failure at the age of 64. In 2013, on the 50th anniversary of his death, Lewis was honored with a memorial in Poets' Corner in Westminster Abbey. Next is we have The Lion and the Witch Wardrobe. The Lion and the Witch and Wardrobe by C.S. Lewis is a classic children's fantasy novel that takes readers on a magical journey through a wardrobe into the enchanting world of Narnia, where 4 siblings must battle the evil witch and restore the rightful ruler to the throne. However, during the World War II bombings of London, 4 English siblings are sent to a country house where they will be safe. One day, Lucy, or also known as Georgie Henley, finds a wardrobe that transports her to a magical world called Narnia. After coming back, she soon returns to Narnia with her brothers. Peter, or also known as William Mosley, and Edmund Scandar Keynes, and her sister Susan, or known as Anna Popplewell. There they join the magical lion, or Aslan, or Liam Neeson, in the fight against the evil White Witch, Jadis, or also known as Tilda Swinton. Next is we have the Bridge to Terabithia. Bridge to Terabithia is a heartwarming children's book that explores the powerful bond of friendship between Jess and Leslie. Together, they create an imaginary world called Terabithia, where they find solace and strength to overcome the challenges of the real world. So, Second to the last is we have the Peter Pan. Peter Pan is a fictional character created by Scottish novelist and playwright J.M. Barrie, a free-spirited and mischievous young boy who can fly and never grows up. Peter Pan spends his never-ending childhood having adventures in the mythical island of Neverland, as the leader of the Lost Boys, interacting with fairies, pirates, mermaids, Native Americans, and occasionally ordinary children from the world outside Neverland. However, Peter Pan has become a cultural icon symbolizing youthful innocence and escapism. In addition, to two distinct works by Barrie, The Little White Bird on 1902 with chapters 13 to 18 published in Peter Pan in Kensington Gardens in 1906, and the West End stage play Peter Pan or The Boy Who Wouldn't Grow Up on 1904, which expanded into the 1911 novel Peter and Wendy. The character has been featured into a variety of media and merchandise, both adapting and expanding on Barrie's works. This includes several films, television series, and many other works. So, Barrie commissioned a statue of Peter Pan by the sculptor George Frampton, which was erected overnight in Kensington Gardens on 30 April 1912 as a surprise to the children of London. 6 other statues have been cast from the original mold and displayed around the world. In 2002, Peter Pan featured in a series of UK postage stamps issued by the Royal Mail on the centenary of Barrie's creation of the character. The last one is we have the J.K. Rowling. J.K. Rowling is the British author who created the popular and critically acclaimed Harry Potter series, or the 7 books published between 1997 and 2007. It is about a lonely orphan who discovers that he is actually a wizard and enrolls in the Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry. So, that's all for the Module 9, which is all about the modern fantasies.